up, and welcome to another episode of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm Rone. Thank you for tuning in. 2022 is a wrap, and we are into the new year, but we can't start the new year without talking about the top albums of 2022. Now, for me personally, disclaimer right off front, 2022 was kind of a mid-year for music, new music. There was a lot of dope shit that dropped, but replay value-wise, not a lot of stuff got a lot of replay from me personally. And we usually do a top 20 albums the past couple years. We've been doing that. This year, we're only doing top 10. I keep track of all the albums that I listen to throughout the year that could possibly album of the year contenders. And I didn't even have 20 on the list. So I couldn't even do a top 20 if I wanted to. But we're doing a top 10. Because these albums that we're going to talk about are fire. I highly recommend checking out all these albums we're going to talk about. But first, we're going to talk about some honorable mentions, and let's get right into it with Bukshot and Mr. Grey's album, Berzerkers, that dropped back in July. Bukshot, Mr. Grey, they're also in the group called Cabal with the third member, Low Key. And that was one of my favorite albums of 2021. No Cabal album in 2022, so they teamed up, tag team effort for the Berzerkers project while we wait for the next Cabal album. And this project was fire. It might have gotten higher up on the list, or actually made the top 10 if it was a longer project. But man, solid project, entirely produced by Michael Seven Summers, who's been killing it all year, producing just for damn near everybody in the underground. Such a fire project from Bukshot, Mr. Grey. Next up, we got grewsum with his Grassroots 6 EP, the sixth installment of the Grassroots series that dropped back in May. I think this was the third project that he dropped of the year. Again, if this was an LP versus an EP, it might have made the top 10, but a solid project. All the Grassroots projects from grewsum are dope. He's one of the more consistent artists in the Wicked Underground scene, and Grassroots 6 is a fire EP. 5 songs, 14 minutes, super short, but every song is a banger. You gotta peep that shit. And then we got Conway the Machine with his Shady Records debut. The long-awaited Shady Records album finally came out this year, earlier in the year in February, with God Don't Make Mistakes. While this ain't my favorite Conway project that he's put out, it was still a very solid album from Conway the Machine. You got that classic Griselda shit sound on here. A lot of personal stuff on here, man. Like, Conway killed it on this album. Didn't quite make the top 10. It was right on the edge of the top 10, but still an album I highly recommend checking out. And then we had Reno and his album, Blood, Guts, and Boombap. This dropped December 1st. Man, Reno has had a great year, 2022. He's back. The Sadist is fucking killing it. Again, another album that was on the cusp of the top 10 but didn't quite make it. I highly recommend checking out this Reno project, Blood, Guts, and Boombap, because it's fucking fire. I believe he did the production on this album, and he absolutely killed it. Like, the album title lives up to the sound of the album. Blood, Guts, and Boombap. Boombap wicked shit at its finest on this project. You got to go peep Reno's project. You got to go peep all 4 that I just talked about. Bukshot, Mr. Grey's album, Berzerkers, grewsum's Grassroots 6, Conway the Machines, God Don't Make Mistakes, and Reno's Blood, Guts, and Boombap, because all those projects are definitely worth your time and your ear. Shit's fucking fire, son. Fire. So go peep those shits, man. But stop. We're going to stop dicking around and we're just going to get right into it. The top 10. Get a fucking drum roll going in the background. Can we please? And let's get right into it. Top 10. Coming in at number 10. Czarface, Czarmageddon. Man, this project right here from Czarface, they absolutely killed it with this project. Probably, not even probably, this is my favorite Czarface project since Every Hero Needs a Villain. They really went back to the essence of those first couple Czarface albums. Czarface's Inspect the Deck, 7L, and Esoteric absolutely destroyed it on this album. You gotta go peep it. It's a lot of comic book references, wrestling references, as you know and love from Czarface. If you've checked out Czarface before, just a great album. 7L and Jeremy Page, the Czar Keys, absolutely killed the production on here. I think the production is really what brought it back to those first couple albums that they dropped as a group together. And they just fucking killed it on this project. Only a couple features. As is with most Czarface projects, they don't rely heavy on features. INS and Esoteric just hold their own on here. Top 3 favorite songs off Czarmageddon for me would probably be Can It Be? I love that shit. Just a very mellow, laid-back type track. Love the sampling on there. My favorite song on the album, hands down, is Walk Through Walls. That beat is just, that shit gets your head bobbing. Fire. I love the way it breaks down at the end. They switch up the beat. Is so fire. Walk Through Walls, easily my favorite song off this project. And then my other favorite song off here would be Bob Lazar. I love the play on words that Czarface always does. You know, look at the album title, Czarmageddon, Armageddon, Czarmageddon. Fire, man. I love the Czarface lore and all that shit. One of my favorite groups of the last decade, like straight up. They're pretty consistent with their releases as well. But Czarface's Czarmageddon has to be my favorite album since Every Hero Needs a Villain. Man, it's such a solid project from Czarface. And again, shout out to 7L and Esoteric and Inspect the Deck for just absolutely bringing the fucking heat on that album. Fucking fire. But let's get into our number 9 positions, shall we? We got Claas with his album This Is Revenge. Finally, 2022 saw the release of Claas's This Is Revenge. He had dropped a few EPs leading up to the release of this project. And we saw this released in February. Bunch of features on the album, but there's a handful of songs that Claas holds down solo and just kills it, man. Front to back, banger, 19 tracks. This is Claas at his best. I've been listening to Claas since Anarchaic, and this is Claas at his best. You might know Claas from Underground Avengers, of course. But man, the production on this album too is fucking fire. A lot of guitars on here, but it ain't no pussy rock shit. This shit is in your face fight music. Claas absolutely kills it. Top 3 songs from me. One would be Devil May Cry featuring the ROC and Kung Fu Vampire. Now, when Claas was getting ready to release This Is Revenge, he had dropped the 3 articles, the 3 EPs that I mentioned earlier. And I had checked out one of them. I don't remember which article it was, but it had Devil May Cry featuring ROC and Kung Fu Vampire. And that shit was like, yo, this song is fire. Love that song. ROC, Kung Fu Vampire both kill their verses on there, as does Claas. second favorite track off this album would probably be Feast. This is Claas solo. That beat, that haunting, eerie beat is just so fire. Just, you don't hear beats like that all the time. Like, super original. I don't know who did the production on that one. I didn't mark it down in my notes, but god damn, Feast is fire. That's mosh pit music right there. You might not think so, but that shit, straight up mosh pit music. And then probably my favorite song on the album. And this was the most unexpected collaboration I think we got all year long of anybody that did anything that at least I listened to. Claas got Boondocks and Cage on the same song on this album. Song's called Dichotomy. This shit is fun, dude. Boondocks absolutely kills it. I love the way the Boondocks comes in on his verse. Cage, self-admittedly, I'm not the biggest Cage fan. I've said it before, but he kills it on this song. And Claas holds his own with Boondocks and Cage, man. The most unexpected collaboration. I never thought I would ever hear a Claas and Cage collaboration, and never mind throw Boondocks in there as well. Just super unexpected, but a fire song and a great album from Claas. He absolutely killed it. Just front to back bangers. There's only one song I skip on this project, but all the other songs are so strong. So strong. It had to make the list because I bumped the shit out of this album when it first dropped and continued to play throughout the year. An honorable mention that almost made the top 3 songs, Burn It Down, featuring Bukshot and Rapper Red. Man, absolutely fucking killed that. Rapper Red on that hook. Fucking murdered it. And Claas absolutely did his fucking thing on that album, like I said. So go peep that shit. This is Revenge from Claas. Now, coming in at number 8, we got to go with DJ Muggs and Rigz. Their album, Gold, dropped earlier this year. Super hyped on this project when it dropped because I recently in the last couple of years, got introduced to Rigz. And this project with DJ Muggs just lived up to the hype, man. We all know Muggs of Cypress Hill and all the work that he's done throughout the years. This project was fucking fire. Rigz, he's of the collective of The Cloth, and The Cloth has become one of my favorite crews of the last couple years. Rigz being my favorite member, and he absolutely killed it on here. I heard some of the production on here from Muggs was some old school Cypress Hill shit that was supposed to be on Temples of Boom and all that shit. Crazy production from Muggs. Rigz killed it. I love Rigz' swagger, his flow. It's kind of mellow, laid back, but he goes in on the mic and fucking absolutely kills it. Top 3 songs off Muggs and Riggs' Gold album would be Cook-Offs with Mayhem Loren. I love that shit, man. Mayhem Loren. Anytime I see Mayhem as a feature on an album, I know high chances that song is going to be fire. Mayhem Loren killed his verse on there. Of course, Rigz did his thing on there. Fucking fire. Next, we got Every Season featuring Rob Gates. Rob Gates, probably the grimiest member of The Cloth. I love that dude's voice, his flow, his delivery, super aggressive, in your face, angry as fuck. Every Season, my second favorite song off this album is fucking fire. But my favorite song off this album, hands down, and that I played the fuck out of. Anytime this song came on as I was listening to the album, we bring this one back. Heads on the Wall featuring Rome Streets. God damn, Rome Streets caught 1,700 different bodies on this track, as did Rigz, but god damn, I love that beat. The way they're fucking going in on this shit. Rome Streets kicks it off. Rigz comes in. Man, quotables for days on here on this track as well. Love Heads on the Wall. One of my just top favorite songs of 2022. Straight up. Love that song. And DJ Muggs and Rigz, their album Gold, absolutely killed it, man. If you just want some of that real, authentic hip-hop shit, you got to go check this album. Fire, fire, fire. Can't recommend it enough, man. Like I said, DJ Muggs, we all know Muggs, man. Cypress Hill, all the classic shit that they put out, especially those first 4 albums. And Muggs stays doing shit on production. He does production for everybody in the underground damn near still. And I love the collaboration albums that he does put out because they are absolutely fucking fire. So go peep that shit if you ain't had the chance to do it yet. Coming in at number 7, lucky number 7, Sealance and the Undying Flame. It's not often, speaking of dope producers, it's not often that a producer will put out an album where they just get a shitload of features from people and the album is fire, like top 10 worthy. But Sealance did it on this project. He had features from Apathy, Self-Titled, Crime Apple, Jaren Ben, Gmo Ski, Ritz, R.A. the Rugged Man, Mercules, Ill Bill, Gore-Tex, Vinnie Paz, Mad Child, Sick Jackin'. Just a whole shitload of people featured on this project. I didn't even name half right there. But he absolutely killed it. Sealance, top 5 producer for me right now in the underground. Dude just stays killing it. Stays killing it on the production tip. Top 3 songs for me on this album. Gotta be Total Disaster featuring Cryptic Wisdom, Ritz, and Novator. Self-admittedly, not the biggest Cryptic Wisdom fan, but he killed that hook on there. Ritz murdered it. They all killed it on that song. That beat is fire. The one thing about this album is the roller coaster of emotions that Sealance brings the listener through on this shit, man. You got the hype shit, you got the street shit, and you got the introspective shit. Just all the emotions on this album is fucking fire. Total Disaster is a great song. Another song, Macaulay Culkin featuring Mercules and Webby. Again, I'm not super familiar with Mercules or Webby. I've checked out some of Webby's shit here and there, Mercules here and there, but goddamn, I love that song. They fucking killed it on there. Some funny ass lines on there from Mercules and Webby. Love that shit. Chris Webby. I like that dude's voice, man. His voice is fucking dope. Mercules got an ill ass voice too, and they killed that shit, man. Dope song. My favorite song off the project, Last Wishes featuring Terminology, Esoteric, and Slain. All from Massachusetts. I believe Sealance is from Massachusetts, at least the New England area. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure he's from Massachusetts. And that's just a fucking banger, man. Love me some Terminology. We talked about Esoteric earlier with the Czarface album, and Slain. Like, come on, man. That shit is... Slain, another one. One of my favorite artists in the underground. And Sealance. Like I said, it's not often you get a producer that could put together an album as good as this one right here. It's so dope, man. Again, the roller coaster of emotions that Sealance brings the listener through on that shit. Fire. Very, very dope album. And he's gearing up to, I think, drop another one this year. Or at least he's currently working on one. I've seen him post on social media saying that work has already begun on the next album. And that's super dope. Let's get into number 6. Coming in at number 6, Suicide Boys and their album, Sing Me a Lullaby, My Sweet Temptation. This is Suicide Boys back in their form. Back doing just back on top of their game. Their last couple albums that they put out weren't bad, but didn't really stand up to their previous work. And in my opinion, Sing Me a Lullaby is right up there with their old shit. You know, the Suicide Sagas, Eternal Grey projects, all that shit. This is Suicide Boys back in top form, killing it. 0 features on this album, as is with a lot of Suicide Boys shit. They don't rely on features at all. Scrim and Ruby do it their own, and Scrim does all the production, at least 95% of the time, for Suicide Boys. And a lot of this album reminded me of the old shit. People complain all the time that they want the old shit. Bring the old shit back. We want the old shit. Suicide Boys with Sing Me a Lullaby, My Sweet Temptation definitely brought that old Suicide Boys vibe on this project and absolutely killed it, man. Top 3 songs for me on this project, I got to go Eulogy. Right off the rip, Eulogy, that Notorious B.I.G. sample, absolutely killed it. I love the kind of boom bap styles that they were playing with on this album. There was a couple tracks on here with the boom bap kind of style, and they absolutely killed it with Eulogy. Again, love that sample. Another one of my favorite songs, 1,000 Blunts. 1,000 Blunts is just a fucking fire song. Ruby the Cherry absolutely killed his verse on there, man. I love when Ruby the Cherry starts doing that singing shit. And he did it probably the best on 1,000 Blunts. I love that song, man. You can just smoke 1,000 Blunts to that shit, straight up. Fire song. And then my favorite song, and I think it's become one of my all-time favorite Suicide Boys songs, Fucking Your Culture. This is like a sequel to Fuck Your Culture that they had dropped a couple years ago, but Fucking Your Culture, yo, this beat is hard as fuck. Scrim. It's that demented motherfucker kicking it with my brothers. That shit, dude. That shit is fire. Fucking Your Culture, easily my favorite song off Sing Me a Lullaby, My Sweet Temptation, but just become one of my all-time favorite Suicide Boys songs in general, man. Just fire. If you know Suicide Boys and you haven't checked them out in the last couple years, start with this album. And if you haven't checked out Suicide Boys yet, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, but you might as well start with this album as well, because it's one of my favorites. Coming in at number 6 in the top 10 albums for Beneath the Dirt last year. And we're getting down to the top 5 in this motherfucker, man. Rub your fucking hands together. What do we got, man? What do we got? Well, coming in at number 5, this one was clutch. This was that buzzer beater towards the end of the year. Vinnie Paz, he came out and dropped a fucking heater with Tortured in the Name of God's Unconditional Love. The best album title all year, straight up. Even though the album's coming in at number 5, Vinnie Paz has the album title of the year with Tortured in the Name of God's Unconditional Love. 18 tracks from Vinnie Paz. This dropped in November. Like I said, this was that buzzer beater for the year. And my favorite Vinnie Paz album since God of the Serengeti. Vinnie Paz, I give this dude his praise all the time. One of the most consistent dudes in the underground for the last 20 plus years. And still dropping heat and competing with some of the best shit that he's put out. I love this album. Fucking fire. The features on here are super dope. Got features from Method Man. Corrupt. He got Corrupt on this bitch. He's been vocal about not being a big G-Funk fan. The West Coast G-Funk shit from back in the day. But he got Corrupt on here. Corrupt is a fucking spitter from Philly. Spitter. Absolutely killed it. MOP on this motherfucking album. OT The Real, who had a fantastic feature. Ill Bill, Lord Goat, amongst others. Top 3 favorite songs for me. We got to go Invisible Ether with Method Man. God damn. The last couple years, anytime I see Method Man featured on a song, I know we getting some fucking heat, man. This dude's been on fire with the features lately. Absolutely kills it on Invisible Ether with Vinnie Paz. That beat is nuts. I think that was a Stu Bangers beat, if I'm remembering correctly. Fucking fire. I love that song. That was at the very beginning of the album, too. Great way to help kick off the album. Another one of my favorites is Faith Healer, which was actually a single for the album. But man, I love that hook. Vinnie Paz and his hook game. He even said it. He dropped a couple videos talking about the making of the album and his process for making songs and all that. And how, you got to have, the catchy hooks, man. But still, you could still keep it grimy with the catchy hooks, and that's what Faith Healer has. I love the hook on there. The beat is fire. Vinnie Paz absolutely fucking killed it on that song. But my favorite song on the album has got to be Spoils of War featuring Big Twins. Just grimy as fuck, man. That beat drops. He's got a sample in the beginning of, I'm not sure where the sample is from, but it's talking about somebody conquering all these different territories. He conquered Iran. And then it just drops into this grimy beat. Big Twins is another dude. When you see a feature from him, that shit is going to be fire, man. Love that song. Favorite song off there. And I do have to give an honorable mention to Gunpowder Plot featuring OT The Real. That song is just, dude, OT The Real. I think that's my first time hearing OT The Real, or one of my first times, but that shit right there was a standout feature from OT The Real. Absolutely killed it. And Vinnie Paz, 20 plus years in the game, still killing it, without a doubt. Just, you gotta go peep it, man. If you're familiar with Pazzy, Pack Pistol Pazzy. God damn. Fucking fire, man. But let's keep it going, shall we? Let's fucking keep it going. Coming in at number 4, we got Donnie Menace, Chainsaws and Boomsticks. Yo, when this album first dropped, it was instantly a banger. Instantly one of the best albums of the year. First listen through, I remember thinking, holy shit, Donnie Menace finally came into form and just fucking went Super Saiyan on these motherfuckers and brought the heat with Chainsaws and Boomsticks. I've been a fan of Donnie Menace since The Threat, his first tape that he dropped, and he's just progressively gotten better over time. Battle bars on this album for fucking days, quotables for days on this album. He produced most of the album by himself. I think a lot of people don't know that. He had some production from Jay Reno on here as well. But Donnie Menace not only holds it down on the mic, holds it down on the boards, and just wicked shit. Classic wicked shit right here, man. Just with that boom bap sound. We need that boom bap wicked shit. We need it more going into 2023. But the boom bap wicked shit sound album of the year has got to go to Donnie Menace, Chainsaws and Boomsticks. But number 4 overall on the top 10. Top 3 songs for me, it got to be Who Slashed Ya. It was a single for the album, and I love that shit. Either they don't know who I am or they just think they safe now. Love the way he comes in on that shit. Again, Donnie Menace is a battle rapper. He used to be in the battle rap scene back in the day. So many battle bars throughout this entire album. Who Slashed Ya is a great hype battle lines for days on that motherfucker. And then we got to go with Theatrical, the Creep Mix, with Lex the Hexmaster, DJ Eclipse, and Jay Reno. I believe there was a couple different versions of this song. This one probably being the best. Lex the Hexmaster destroyed his feature. Jay Reno did his thing on here. DJ Eclipse of Nonfiction, legendary DJ Eclipse on the ones and twos, doing his was fucking killing it. I love that song, man. Just a fucking banger. And then for number 3, we got to go Low Life featuring DJ Chunk. I love when artists get DJs on their shit, doing their scratches and all that shit. I love it. Especially in this wicked underground scene. We never really seen it that much in the past, but we're starting to see it a lot more. And DJ Chunk did his thing on here. Love the beat on here. This one's hype as fuck. And Donnie Menace kills it as well. But god damn. Donnie Menace's Chainsaws and Boomsticks, which dropped on LSP last year. And LSP had a great 2022 last year, dropping a shitload of albums. You know, they dropped, Scum dropped some shit. Scum and Smalls 1 dropped some shit. Insane Poetry, Darby O'Trill, Cody Manson. LSP had a great 2022, but Donnie Menace takes it for the best album. Boombap, wicked shit album, best album to drop on LSP. Just fucking killed it, man. Killed it. And I'm definitely I'm always looking forward to new Donnie Menace, but I'm definitely hyped for new Donnie Menace. He's saying he's got more shit in the works already. I'm hyped for it. Can't get here fucking fast enough. Straight up. And then coming in at number 3, we got King ISO. His album, Get Well Soon. This one dropped early in the year, back in January. January 21st, this album dropped. And I remember thinking when they were promoting this album, I was like, I don't know, man. World War Me was such a great album from King ISO. Great album. Probably his best album at the time. So, like, the expectations were high, and I was hoping I wasn't going to be disappointed, and I fucking sure as hell wasn't being disappointed at all. I said World War Me was his best album at that time. Before this album came out, this might be his best shit yet. Super personal, as is with a lot of King ISO's stuff. But man, it really came together on this album for ISO. And he absolutely killed it. King ISO, another one who does all his own production. Kills it on the production. One of the better chopper rappers out there. And he just, man. Best album from Strange Music in 2022, easily. Like, not even close. And he absolutely killed it, man. I fucking love this album. I still play the shit out of it. You know, and he dropped another EP towards the end of the year called 8 p.m. Med Call. Another dope project from that. Maybe if that was a full length, that could have gotten higher up on the list too, because that was a dope listen. But Get Well Soon is fucking fire, man. My top 3 favorite songs from Get Well Soon. I got to go Zero Dark 34. That beat is fucking crazy. The way he used that phone, the busy signal on Zero Dark 34 was fucking genius. Brilliant. I loved that. I loved how he incorporated that into the beat. Just a great fucking song, man. It's just, man. Love that shit. Hypocrite, my second favorite song off Get Well Soon. This was actually a single for the album, and yo, this shit could be on the radio. I don't know how it's not either. Like, this dude is very vocal about, suicide prevention, mental health, and all that shit. And Hypocrite is a fucking banger. It's an anthem for suicide prevention. Straight up. I mean, this whole album is really... This album personally helped me through a lot of shit this year, especially in the beginning of the year. It was fucking rough in the beginning of the year for me. And this album was right on time. Fantastic album from King ISO. But my number one favorite song on this shit, and this shit hit me in the motherfucking feels, I'm Okay featuring King Cash. The biggest lie I've ever told. I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, talking about saying, yeah, people checking in on you, asking you how you are. You saying you're okay, but you know it's a fucking lie. And he's saying that's the biggest lie he ever told. Sheesh. I fucking love that shit, man. Hits you in the fucking chest for real. Love that song. King ISO and his album Get Well Soon is just a fantastic album. One of the best strange music albums to come out in recent memory. Love that shit, man. Straight the fuck up. And shout out to King ISO for not only producing his own shit, but actually killing the raps on his own shit too, man. Holding it down with all the features, holding his own against Tech 9, Twista, Ritz, everybody. King ISO holds his fucking own and absolutely kills it, man. Absolutely kills it. We're down to the last two of the top 10. Let's get right into it. Number 2, Ouija Macc, Fallen Angelic. This album dropped earlier in the year. I want to say, I'm looking it up right now, April. And 18 tracks, features on only 3 songs. Mostly produced by Devereaux, the best producer in the Wicked Underground right now, or just in general. Like, this motherfucker just kills it on the production. Him and Ouija Macc's chemistry really came through on Fallen Angelic. And it's just a fucking banger of an album, man. 18 tracks, 54 minutes. But it plays through like a fucking EP, man. You press play, song 1, next thing you know, you're on the last song and the album is done. But I love this shit. Top 3 songs for me off Fallen Angelic. I got to go Moonlight featuring Kid Bookie. I'm not familiar with Kid Bookie. Sorry. But of the couple features that I've heard him do, he's fucking absolutely killed it. The beat, man, if that song doesn't get played live, I don't know what the fuck, man. That is a hype-ass song. Moonlight with Kid Bookie, that shit is so fucking fire. And I gotta go La Flama Blanca. Holy shit. La Flama Blanca, one of Devereaux's best beats he's ever made, in my opinion. Ouija Macc. People say Ouija Macc can't rap. Motherfucker, go listen to La Flama Blanca. This dude flipping multis for days on this motherfucker. His flow is off the fucking hook on this song. Just a fucking banger. Banger. La Flama Blanca, man. Very fucking dope. Love that song. And then we got to go my favorite song off the album. And this one fought with La Flama Blanca as my favorite song. But I got to go Roadmap. This one's produced by Maisie666, and I love when Ouija Macc gets on that personal, introspective type shit. Even though he doesn't get too deep, he gets in a little bit, and Roadmap has become one of my all-time favorite Ouija Macc songs, man. He absolutely fucking killed it on there with that song. And Fallen Angelic is just another great addition to Ouija Macc's ever-growing catalog that he drops 3-4 albums every fucking year. Projects, mixtapes, whatever the fuck. He drops 3-4 a year and just absolutely kills it. Fallen Angelic is just a fucking super dope project. Got so many plays from me in 2022. And then we're down to number 1. And this is going to This gonna piss some people off, and that's okay. This is my fucking list. Let me know what your list is. I meant to mention that in the beginning. Before we get into the number 1, let me know what your top 10 albums, or whatever, how many albums you want to fucking put down. Hit me up, let me know. But he had the number 2 album, and he got the number 1 album Talking about Ouija Macc, Stalewind, the fourth and final element from Ouija Macc before Dark Planet drops. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. It's just Fallen Angelic and Stalewind were my top two most played albums of the year, and it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. I spent damn near the whole year bumping just these two albums. And for anybody that's upset about it, you know, wipe the fucking sand out of your vagina and get over it. But he just fucking kills it, man. Mostly produced by Devereaux again. And Stalewind is just... It might be his best album. It might be his best album. I don't know if I would rank it number one, but I wouldn't be mad at anybody ranking it number one in his discography as his best album. Again, Ouija and Devereaux's chemistry is just there and just so goddamn good. He doesn't rely heavily on features. It's only 4 features on the entire album, 18 tracks, again, coming in at just over an hour. Ouija never relies really heavily on features and holds full fucking albums down dolo. And fucking kills it. Top 3 favorite songs for me off this album. I gotta go FURN, Fucked Up Right Now, featuring FJ Outlaw. I love that shit. That shit is fucking a banger. I love that song, man. Fucked Up Right Now. Ouija kills the hooks. Ouija kills verses. FJ Outlaw's verse on here was fucking dope. I'm not even familiar with his shit, but he had a dope verse on Fucked Up Right Now. And then I'm not even sure what my favorite song off this album is. These next 2 songs, depending on my mood, could be my favorite song. But we'll talk about Massacre first. Massacre, holy shit, man. I fucking love Massacre from Ouija Macc. He absolutely fucking killed it on there. People who say Ouija can't rap clearly don't listen to his shit. Because this motherfucker raps his ass off. This dude starts off the first verse with pressure adding up. Bitch, I had enough. Tell Jesus he could call his fucking daddy up. And when that reaper come, pull that fucking caddy up. I'ma hop up in the back with a strap. Tell him fuck it up. That shit's fire. Come on, son. Ouija Macc can fucking rap. You just got to get over that he's not traditional in the sense of, you know, he does that trap style, that old school 3/6 style type shit. But man, dude fucking kills it. And Ouija Macc, not even a boom bap rapper, has DJ Chunk on songs on stage. Like, I feel like he really ushered in fucking having the DJs on songs, like in this current space that we're in. Like, I don't think he gets credit for that shit. Not even a boom bap rapper, and he got a motherfucking DJ chopping it up on the 1s and 2s with him on fucking everywhere he goes. Super dope. But my number 1 song off Stalewind has got to be Take Me Home. Shit. Again, another one of those personal tracks from Ouija Macc. I love when he does this shit. Great way to end the album. Just Stalewind is just a fantastic project from Ouija. And you got to peep it. And it's the number 1 album of the year for me. Without a fucking doubt. Ouija Macc holding it down for the Juggalos, for the Wicked Underground right now. Just killing it. But that's my top 10. Those are my top 10 albums. Again, let me know what your top 10 albums of the year, top 5, top 20, whatever. Let me know. Let me know if you even thought 2022 was a good year for music. It seems to be. Again, I'm in the minority for that. But it's all good, man. It's all love. And yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Much love. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm out. Peace.